Real Life TV Ep.6. We're on location, Flatbush, Brooklyn. Special guest today, owner of the Boros, Dre. What's up, Dre?
What's going on, fam?
What made you fall in love with building a clothing brand?
Well, anybody that's from New York, don't matter what borough you in, everybody wants to be exclusive and have something that's different than everybody else, some type of exclusivity.
Yep.
So for me, I'm a creative. I do graphic design, I build websites, I do all types of things, but I like having things that nobody else has. So for me, making my own clothes is just another extension of my personality, and I could go ahead and keep with my hometown vibe, which is I have something that you don't have.
That's a great answer. How did you come up with the name The Boros?
Well, currently I live in Oklahoma City, and my business partner lives in Merritt Island, Florida. And we was just kind of like throwing names out there or whatever. And Boros, for us, the actual definition is self-assured, zealous, and efficient. But the word Boros actually is a play on where I'm from. So if you look at the logo on the clothes, there's 5 stars. And the 5 stars is a subliminal for the actual 5 boroughs, but the clothing line really has nothing to do with the boroughs. It just makes me feel good because it's something from home, even though I'm not at home.
Who is Dre?
Dre is Brooklyn raised. My parents still live on the block that I was born, raised in. My parents are from South America, Guyana. And I am a natural born problem solver and a creative. Like I've done graffiti, I've tagged up, I've done digital art, websites, Black Planet websites and all those things. So I am a huge tech junkie. And it's nothing that I cannot do. I pretty much can do everything, literally.
That's dope. You've been around the culture. Who inspires you?
In fashion, Fabulous inspires me. I know it's kind of cliche that anybody from Brooklyn will be like, yo, Jay-Z is there. Everybody says Jay-Z is their number one, but for me, it's Fabulous. He's clever and witty, and then like his fashion sense is just crazy. So that would be definitely somebody that I do look up to. He's been around since I was in middle school. And you know, now I'm a full grown up. We in the same age bracket, me and him. So it's pretty dope. You know what I mean? To watch him still be what we consider the swag champ.
Yeah. That's definitely a fact. He was one of the first ones to wear the throwbacks, make them throwbacks pack like pop and all that. It's crazy. Who's in your top 5 clothing brands? So if you had a top 5 clothing brand, what would it be?
In my top 5 clothing brands, I really don't pay attention to other clothing brands as much as I should because, like I said, I like making my own things. If I do have to put somebody or a clothing line up there, I would go ahead and say that my partner Aegis, he lives out here in Brooklyn, and his clothing line is called Definition Clothing, and he's been making clothes ever since we were little. And he's still doing it now, and his stuff is really, really dope. Oh, and by the way, your stuff is pretty hot too.
I appreciate
The way that you kind of like pay tribute to the hip hop culture and just the music culture period, and then based off of the actual boroughs, and even outside of it, you know, doing stuff with down south and things like that. I think that's pretty dope. And then the brand swap that you do. For me, I think that raises awareness, and it kind of like makes other people follow each other. So you know what I mean, you get a better fan base. So I can't say that I have a top 5, but those definitely will be my top 2.
I mean, I appreciate that answer. You showing love to me and showing love to other people. That's dope. How do you feel about the current clothing brand game?
The current clothing brand game is right now it's crazy because everybody has a clothing line. Everybody's able to. It's pretty much from your head to a garment till you wearing it. It could be done within 2 hours. You know, so the clothing line game is crazy. There's a lot of dope stuff out there. And my advice to anybody that is wanting to do it, just do it. Don't hold yourself back. You know what I mean? Do it. That's an extension of your personality. Go ahead and put it out there.
Dope. Just do it.
7.
If you had a dream collab, who would it be with? Clothing brand.
If I had a dream collab, I think I would actually want to collab with Jordans on some kicks. You know what I mean? I think that, you know what I mean, my angry face would be a real dope collab on some shoes, kind of like the Cause.
Yeah.
I forgot which ones they are, but there's some great causes that got the X's on it. I think, you know what I mean, I could do something like that. And possibly Supreme, you know what I mean? It's from where I'm from, you know what I mean? And they started in the culture that I started off in. I was in Flatbush, Brooklyn, skateboarding over 20 years ago when it was just like something you didn't do. So, you know what I mean? I think for me, I would want to go ahead and, you know what I mean, collab with Supreme, Jordan, and outside of clothing, possibly some skateboard decks and stuff like that. I think I could design some dope stuff.
I love those answers. Jordan, Supreme, like, they killing the game.
8.
Besides making clothes, do you see yourself branching out to do other things?
I do a lot already, so I think that I don't need to branch out too much more. I do photography, I do websites, I do logos, I do clothing designs, I do brand development, so I actually help other businesses, small businesses, medium businesses kind of like figure out other avenues to get themselves out there and market themselves and things like that. So, and then I have a club with my brothers in Oklahoma City, so I'm pretty tied up. Like, you know what I mean? I don't think I could extend or stretch any more than what I am right now.
Yeah, you do a lot, man.
No.
How do you come up with the process of making a design? So, like, when you're about to make a shirt, like, what's the process like?
From design to actual clothing.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird because, like how we're doing this interview right now, I may see something or I may think of something, and then literally in my head I actually take something and actually break it apart in pieces and then put it back together the way I envision it, and then from there I'll go ahead and design it in the computer, and then, you know, I'll have the screen print or heat press or sublimate or whatever it is, you know, whatever medium I'm going to use at the time, and go ahead and, you know, create my designs. So a lot of my stuff is just off the top of my head. I don't, you know, anything can pretty much give me inspiration. So the hardest thing is just keeping them in there because I'm not a person that writes anything down.
Oh, man.
So for me, I don't make a lot of the same thing. If I don't do it in the same setting and I have to wait like another day, the likelihood of it being the same is very slim because I'm just going to create something else. So I'm always creating.
That's dope, but I think you should have that journal to keep them ideas.
10.
What advice would you give someone watching this episode?
The advice that I would give to somebody watching this episode is to stay true to yourself is the first thing. And you are your biggest critic.
Yep.
So if you don't put your work out there, nobody's ever going to see it. So whatever you're critiquing within self, nobody gets to see that. So what you need to do is actually go ahead and put the work out there, let people see it. And it doesn't matter if it's clothing, music, whatever it is. People have to see it. People have to be able to get it. Make yourself accessible, and you'll go far that way. And don't be afraid to ask questions, and don't be afraid to look stuff up. YouTube University is really the truth. You can learn a lot on there, and you know what I mean, from just go ahead and just do it. You know what I mean, like Nike say, just do it.
Just do it.
You know, or be the Boros. Be self-assured, zealous, and efficient, and just push your brand. You know what I mean? That's all I could. That's my advice.
That's some great advice right there. Well, that's the 10 questions. That's the end of this interview. I appreciate you, you know, taking the time out, you know, linking up, supporting the brand, showing love, all that. I appreciate you 100%. Just let the people know where they can find you, your Instagram, if they need web design, if they need consulting, you know, give them all your information.
Okay. So you can find me on Instagram at kor.llc. You could also find me on Instagram at 326 Brand Development. You can find me on Facebook at Dre, D-R-E, Taylor, T-A-Y-L-O-R. You can check out the clothes at the Boro's Boutique on Instagram or www.theborosboutique.com. And if you need anything, advice, logos, graphic design, anything, just go ahead and hit my DM. I'll go ahead and respond, and we'll go ahead and take it from there. That's how I met my good friend right now, all from Instagram.
That's a fact.
From another state.
That's a fact.
And he lived right in my hood, and we've been rocking ever since. So that's the way to do it. Spread love is definitely the Brooklyn way.
I like that, y'all. I appreciate you 100%, G.